Welcome to the Whitetail Obsession Podcast with Dave Richmond and co-host Chris Worthing, where we talk and teach everything deer and turkey hunting related. Follow along as we help teach you tips and techniques about hunting, food plots, and habitat management strategies that everyone can use.
Podcast 117.
It sure is.
Yeah,
117.
117.
117. Like your temperature yesterday when you couldn't get home.
That is true. It took me,
Traffic jams.
well, so what's funny about that is I got jammed up there, but Sunday, and if having a brain fart, but I went to see a client and I was down in Ocean City. That took me 5.5 hours to get home
Ooh.
from Ocean City.
What's it usually take?
Well, I wasn't 100% in Ocean City. I was in kind of like Berlin area, which no traffic. It would take me about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh my.
And it took me 5.5 hours because we had that massive windstorm on Sunday and they shut down the Bay Bridge.
Oh yeah.
So I had to take a
major
yeah.
wind damage here. We had the girl next door, a tree fell on her house. The neighbor's tree come across my driveway. I had to clean that up for them because they weren't there. It's an Airbnb or something. I don't know. They rent it or something. I don't know what they do with it. But
yeah, it took me on a back road, and the back roads were all jammed up because all the travelers coming home from Ocean City, and then it was just bumper to bumper the entire way home.
I can't believe people go to the beach this early in the year.
It's they travel all winter long. I mean, summertime's like really bad. Like if you're going that way on a Friday afternoon, forget about it.
But I mean, the water can't be warm right now yet.
They're not going to the water. They're just going down to all the bars, and plus it was St. Patrick's Day, so.
Oh yeah.
They were all down.
True.
They were all down there drinking,
partying it up. Well, this is spring break time.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts.
Right.
Okay, so topic-wise, we are going to tackle what? Some foiler feeding things?
Yep. So
you had a comment.
We're getting there, but it's not quite foiler feeding season yet, but it won't be far. It's coming along.
Right.
But I did have a few questions. It was either this week or the end of last week, maybe the weekend, but some guys asking about foiler feeding and what to use, when to use it, how to use it, what does it do, how does it work? Like there was a lot of info guy wanted.
Well,
so
I get to just add to what you just said. I get a lot of questions like, when can I start foiler feeding?
Yep.
And I don't know what your opinion on it is, but I want to start doing that process when there's enough heat in the ground. I mean, I want the soil to be somewhere around 60 or so or higher. So that photosynthesis is happening, and when you spray, that it's going to be sucked in and translocated to the root. But go ahead.
It's foiler feeding, though.
That's my opinion.
You said something that confused me here. You're talking about, because the way you worded it was, you're talking about foiler feeding, spraying the soil. You need to be spraying the plants.
I don't spray soil.
That's what you just said.
Soil temperature needs to be up around 60 for photosynthesis to be happening full tilt, because these plants won't be, if they're not actively growing, there's no use spraying it.
Yeah. All right.
That's why I said a lot of people are asking when to spray.
Yeah, the thing must have cut out there.
Don't be trying to trip me up.
Yeah, man, I was ready to get somebody to sick somebody on you.
There ain't no one can sick on me.
Yeah. So, funny story is that, like, I love foiler feeding. I love it. I think it's a great thing. Some products, I guess, better than others, with just like anything else. But on YouTube, it's funny, and I don't get credit for this, and I'm upset about it. But on YouTube, I was literally one of the first people to endorse foiler feeding. Like, my channel, like, I have hundreds, if not a couple million views on foliar feeding. I brought it to the food plot world, sort of.
Yeah, listen to you.
Yeah, I gotta hype myself up every now and then. Somebody's
Yeah,
got to give me credit, so it
yeah.
better be myself. But um, it's true. Like I was introduced to it, um, and I kind of took it off on the internet. I it's literally all I did. I mean, me and you sprayed it at the farm. I mean, dozens of times. We brought back apple trees. We sprayed apple trees. I mean, heck, we knew it worked so good that were on a 12-foot ladder.
Yeah.
Because back then all we had was a 12-volt, like an ATV sprayer. We're trying to get up as high as we can to spray the
Yeah.
apple trees, and
Yeah, and we've got
because
videos on that. I mean,
yeah, we both have videos on that. So it does work, but the process of it is it's a liquid that you mix with water and you spray it onto actively growing plants, and it gets absorbed through the leaves. So basically, you're reversing kind of nature. Instead of the plants getting the nutrients from the soil and the roots it sucks up in, we're giving it back through the plants and through the leaves. When you spray it on there and the plant is growing, it can suck that nutrients in. And so it sticks to the
100%.
plants and it sucks it in through the leaves.
Yeah.
Now, when you continue to spray the same thing, obviously you're building up the nutrients within that plant. So if you continue to spray, the numbers in the plants get higher or whatever, and the nutrient gets higher, and now the foliar feed that you're using is stuck to the plant, now it's kind of there. And then as time goes on, the nutrients in the plant diminish a little bit and it can suck in more. So it's like a transfer process. But that's kind of how it works. You need sun and you need, moisture, and it can suck in the foliar feed that you're using.
Mhm.
There's a lot of brands out there. But it works very good. I mean, if you have poor soil, you can kind of, I wouldn't call it a replacement for correcting the soil, but it is what would you call it? It's just a,
Plan.
yeah, it's a supplement you can add to your food plot program. It's not to replace enhancing the soil. You always want to start that with that. The better you improve your soil, the better the plants. But this is just a little bonus you can throw in there.
Well,
Uh,
and I don't know, one of the positives of that, I should say,
mhm,
is too, if you're foiler feeding, you don't have all those additives, preservatives, and salts and things that are going to lower your pH like dry
mhm,
fertilizer does.
yeah,
This is 100% nutrient that goes into the plant,
mhm,
and it's not wasted, you
right.
know, except for any little spray that might fall on the dirt. But
Yeah,
there's
when
people that'll argue that if you spray it on the dirt, that it directly affects the dirt too. So
mhm. Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah,
I
I
mean it's
don't either.
possible. But yeah, when you are spraying it, you don't need to saturate the plant where the plants where it's dripping. It's just a light mist across the plants. Any that's
Right.
dripping off onto the soil is technically wasted.
Waste. Hmm.
So you don't need to do that. Um, but it's one of them things where a lot of people mistake it for something else. But you can't just go spray this little 1 pump gallon sprayer and spray it on like a
A whole
10
acre.
yard by 10 yard little patch and expect and think you're going to make a difference in the world, in the deer herd. It's one of them things like anything else. You have to use it every single year. You have to be spraying acres and acres upon acres, because you have to think deer are browsing animals. They consume whatever it is, 4, 5, 6 pounds of food per day. So the more of their food that you can spray acres, that way when they're walking through the woods or fields or whatever, everywhere they go, is micronutrients, 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 micronutrients. Food plot, micronutrients. They're getting all these nutrients in because the more you spray, the more area is for them to feed on. So it's not a magic bullet, but it does help supplement. And I think it's way better than any kind of block that you throw on the ground, any kind of nugget that you throw on the ground, any kind of anything, because when you do that stuff, you're attracting, you know, raccoons and foxes and all this crap that eat all this stuff they supplement blocks and stuff. You're feeding the plants that feed the wildlife. That's true nutrition. That's how deer get bigger. That's how deer get healthier. The healthier the food, the healthier the wildlife. The healthier the soil, the healthier the plant, the healthier the wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you know how it goes, but there's a pro. It's you have to have a program and stick to that program year after year, and it does work. It boosts in the nutrients in the plants. I mean, you can do tissue analysis, and you can see it. I mean, I saw it. So when do you spray? Like, how big the leaves got to be? Can it be just buds? Does it have to be a full leaf? Like, what do you got to say about that?
When you spray, you want to have semi mature plants. I like to spray when stuff's at least 4 or 5 inches tall.
Hmm.
That way, if it contains like a fertilizer or anything like that, that you're not burning something to the ground, especially if it's moist out. You want the stuff to be dry and to spray it on. And like you said, when you mist it on like that, it has a tendency to dry right on the leaf. And then anytime that you do get moisture, say dew or rain, it gets sucked in again if it hasn't been sucked in 100% already.
Hmm.
It has that chance to be able to be used. But yeah, I would say to, you know let the thing be at least halfway mature. I mean, you got people out there spraying stuff 1 2 inches tall. That's dangerous.
Hmm.
Like I
Especially on
said,
like a new food plot because they're young and tender.
yeah, everything's young and tender, and there's certain chemicals in some of these feeds that, like I said, they could be a fertilizer and could burn the snot out of them. So
Hmm.
you don't want a ultimate failure like that when you just spent money on your seeds and all the time that you spent to prep these plots.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
had been doing all week here at the house. I've been prepping plots.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about spraying food plots. Young and tender. You got to be careful. 4 6 inches tall, whatever. But really, um, I mean, that's great to spray them, especially if you have large areas. I mean, they can really boost. But I think you need to be spraying browse. Natural browse.
Mm.
All your briars and any type of broadleaf weeds. Deer eat this stuff.
Oh
They
yeah.
love, like American beautyberry and poke, all these different weeds, ragweed. They eat this stuff, and you
They
know
do.
that's what they eat on a daily basis. And the more you spray of the natural food source that they're consuming, the better. And I used to get this a lot. Just because you spray it doesn't mean they're going to eat it. But because different plants, different varieties and things become palatable at different times of year. So
Hmm.
you could be spraying, ragweed all summer long and they don't eat it. But you're spraying it, so it's there. Then all of a sudden in the fall, boom, they're hitting ragweed. So that ragweed is the highest nutrient level it could be because you've been spraying it with micronutrients. So there's different things that they consume throughout the year. What they eat today,
Right.
they may not eat tomorrow.
Well, and in the
So,
food plot industry, that's a reason why they have blends as well. So that
yeah,
things become mature at different times,
right.
and deer know what they want, so they will go through and pick out certain things. And here, I have a hard time growing chicory because once the chicory gets 2 or 3 inches tall, it's so tender to them, and they just pick it all out. They just love that chicory here. It's hard for me to establish chicory, but
You
that I
are a
mean that's
chicory.
why we're planting it. That's
You
why
are a
we plant
chicory.
it. I don't even know what chicory. How you
You're
call
a
it,
chicken. You're a chicken.
spring chicken.
Yeah, you wish.
where
Uh, yeah.
you
So
where you going after that comment?
I don't know. I'm gonna change topic here. So what what do you use as far as for their feeding? Now, um, there's lots of stuff out there. Um, I was, using a product for a few years, several years, and then I switched to liquid courage. Used that for 2 years, and then um, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use moving forward, but it's going to be something. Like foliar feeding is always going to. I'm always going to incorporate that on my farms and my program, and any kind of food plots that I'm growing. I'm going to be spraying it. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there now. 7, 8 years ago when I really started getting into it and brought it kind of to YouTube, there really wasn't much out there. I mean, there was some stuff, but now it's just one of them things where it's kind of a saturated, market. A lot of companies have it now. Some are good, some are bad. Just like anything else. You just have to do your research and go from there. But
Well,
there's a lot of gimmicks as well.
you can you can you can get technical, and you can get your soil tests and check your base saturations and things like that and see what's low, and you can buy specific things to
Hmm.
adjust and amend
Yeah.
things that you're lacking.
Hmm.
See, last year I had bought a sulfur and nitrogen mix because I noticed on the last 3 or 4 years my ground was lacking sulfur, and most places in PA do. So I went ahead and bought a liquid sulfur with a nitrogen base, and sprayed that.
Hmm.
So hopefully, when I take soil samples this year, which I still haven't because everything's soaking wet still, um, we just had ice off last week and then it rained. So there's no sense me doing it yet. But anyhow, I noticed that sulfur was so low that I went ahead and did that. And I'm hoping this year that it shows a difference. I don't know if one application will show a difference or not, but I could get another jug of it this year and try it again if it's low, you know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
everything
I
you
would.
do is going to help, that base saturation.
Hmm. Other thing too, I would say if you're looking to buy some, do your research, look up several brands, but ask them for before and after soil tissue tissue analysis. Tell them you want to see, what it was before they sprayed and what it is after they sprayed. If they can't show you the difference on soil tissue, or I keep saying soil tissue, the tissue analysis, if they can't show you the difference, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
there's no proof then.
there's no proof that it
They're
works.
they're
Show
just gonna
me.
say it works, it works. Well,
Yep.
that's what we call a gimmick. I mean,
Mhm.
when you
Show
say
me that
something
it,
works and it have no proof.
yeah, show me that it increased the micronutrient levels. Molybdenum, boron, manganese, all these things. Show me that it increased it. Show me that it increased the digestible proteins, all that stuff. If they can't show you that, then I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah,
That's just my little tip.
it's a good spiel.
It is. Now,
Uh,
you had a um something that you were thinking about last night that was keeping you from sleeping, but you wanted to talk about liquid lime.
yeah, uh, been getting lots of questions about that, and like you said earlier, like it's an additive, it's a substitute, it's something, it's a band aid, it's something that you'll spray, and it might boost something temporarily, but You have to get something that is calcium carbonate based, derived from calcium carbonate. There's a lot of stuff out there that is not. And if it is not derived from calcium carbonate, it is just liquid calcium, basically. It's a
Hmm.
slurry of calcium. And which is great if you need calcium on your plot. And there again, you can go back to your soil test and excuse me, and check your base saturation. There's an actual measurement on there for
You mean the
calcium.
soil sample that nobody ever gets?
Yes, yes.
That one. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Just making
yeah,
sure.
because they'll spend $50 on a liquid lime jug,
Right.
and they might not need it because they
Hmm.
could spend like $10 on a soil sample to find out that they spent an extra $40 on that jug and didn't
Correct.
need it.
Correct.
But
Just wanted to
yeah,
clarify.
just clarify that for me, and yeah, so you can get technical with it if you really want to. Um, you could be lacking calcium, and these other brands that offer it derived from calcium chloride. And what's the other one? There's carbonate, chloride, and there's a third one. I can't remember
I
which.
can't think of it off the top of my
I
head.
can't think of it. But yeah, there's three derisions of that, and
Derivatives.
yeah, that too. So carbonate is the one you want.
Yeah. You know,
But yeah, lots of questions about it. People want to know. It's a shortcut, and it's
it is a
you
shortcut.
know, it's temporary. It might help you for 3-4 weeks or something, but if you read these jugs, it's how can one jug help you in an acre, right? Well, if you flip the jug over and look, they want you to put like 3 or 4 of these jugs on per month, every month, so it's like, wow, who could afford
Yeah,
that?
it's literally a shortcut. It is 100%.
If
I'm
you
just
have the
gonna.
money, it's a shortcut.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
have the
gonna.
money to spend 5
Right.
jugs a month.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say. I mean, I personally think it's a scam. Um, I think it's junk. I I have yet to see a company post the results of a like show me before and after spraying the pH changes. Well, then the argument is, oh, well, it's not going to change the pH, but you're adding the calcium. It manipulates it in the soil in a way that it doesn't change the pH, but the calcium's there for the plant. Okay, I get you're adding calcium. I get that. But either way, you're talking a freaking liquid that you're spraying in the soil.
Yeah.
Like, where's it going? It's going to leach through, wash whatever it is. You get runoff. Like, I think it's dumb, and I think it's one of them gimmicks that was brought to the hunting world to where it gives people some kind of hope that they're going to have this amazing food plot. It's like, hey, buy this little gallon gallon jug of liquid, and it's going to make all your dreams come true to where
Yeah.
you can have this amazing, beautiful food plot.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, what's one jug gonna do over an acre?
Hmm.
What's 5 jugs gonna do over an acre? It's still not enough. If you're gonna raise pH, and they always said, a ton would raise 1 point on your pH scale per acre, possibly. Um, Well, 5 jugs on an acre is not gonna move you a point. I
No.
guarantee you it will not move you a point. I would
Mm.
be I would go out on a limb and say that it's probably not gonna budge the scale at all,
Nope.
you
Show
know?
me. Show me. Somebody
If
show me.
it would be like 1/100% or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
it might move your calcium scale, but it ain't gonna move your pH scale. I can almost
Somebody point me in the direction to
Yeah,
where they have literally sprayed liquid lime on their food plot and you took a soil sample before and after. Show me. Somebody
if
show me.
somebody can prove that, boy, I would love to be proved wrong because, man, I wanna buy that
Yeah.
stuff.
Even companies like they sell the liquid lime, but there's nothing on there that shows it. And it like on the jugs, it'll say changes the numbers, over 1 to 2 years.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Right. Right.
yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I just think like we talked about a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was last episode, but the throw and grow seed. It's one of them marketing tactics that
Yeah.
gives people some kind of hope that they're going to achieve the world and have this amazing food plot. And liquid lime is the same thing. It's, hey, you can take this back in your little backwoods plot. We're trying to grow a food plot in the woods with all these trees, and it doesn't matter. You can spray this liquid lime and it's going to solve all your problems.
Yeah.
It's bogus. It's a bogus claim.
Yeah. I don't know too many things. Don't know too many things that could help
Yeah.
you out in
And
that situation.
people will spray it. Now you got me fired up. People will spray it and they'll have this green food plot. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I sprayed liquid lime. I had a great food plot." Well, okay, first question is, did you take a soil sample before you sprayed? Probably not. But how do you know the liquid lime worked? Maybe your pH was already okay.
Yeah.
I grew a food plot in a 4.5 pH on that logging road that I have a video about, and it grew amazing. 4.5 pH. You can still grow stuff in low pH.
Oh yeah. Sure, you could.
It might not be the best, but it'll still
Won't be
grow.
optimal. Yeah.
Won't be optimal, 100%. But
Yeah.
how do you know by spraying the liquid lime it actually did something for you? Maybe you didn't even need anything. Maybe your soil was already okay. Show it. You show the proof. I know, like when I was a kid, I talked about this before. Is my food plot that I grew behind my parents' house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did a
Yeah.
soil sample on it. It was perfect. Literally nothing was ever done there. And it was a 7.0 pH. Nobody ever did anything to that field.
You fudged it.
7.0, no, 7.0 pH. Now, if you followed the bag of seed that you bought where it says add
What is it?
two
300 or
300 pounds of fertilizer and
10, 10, 10.
yeah, and a ton of lime onto your food plot, if you don't get a soil sample. Well, guess what? You just spent all this money on fertilizer and lime, and you just wasted it on your field because that field didn't need anything. And all you had to do was spend $14 for a soil sample.
Yeah. Yeah.
It, it's,
And what's
it's,
up with fertilizer, man? Why does everybody want a 10, 10, 10 or something low like that? I don't
because the
get it.
bag of seeds say it.
Yeah.
It's on the back of the seed,
They're
triple
being
10, triple
duped.
13.
Being
You don't
duped.
know. You don't know what you need
Well,
until
first of
you
all,
get a
they don't know, but even if they knew, 10 10 10's a popular bag to be able to buy, and it's full of filler. You're getting in one bag, 150-pound bag of 10 10 10. You're getting 5N,
5.
5P, and 5K. The rest
Yeah.
is all filler. So 15-pound of it is only actual fertilizer
You know
out of
that
a 50-pound bag.
we got like 4 minutes, but we should finish that off just to throw that in there as a little bonus as fertilizer. When you buy like you said, when you buy fertilizer, you have to refer to 100-pound equivalents.
Correct.
So if you buy 10, 10, 10, a 50-pound bag of 10, 10, 10, you're getting 5 pounds of each.
Yes.
That's it, five
That's
pounds.
it.
So you
Five
have to
pounds each.
buy 100 pounds to get 10 pounds of each. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So if you buy 20, 20, 20, you're getting 10, 10, 10,
Yeah,
10
you're
pounds
actually
of
getting
each.
10 10 10. Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of people
Yep.
don't know that,
No,
you
you have
know?
to buy 2 bags to get what the numbers are on that front of that bag.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. So the lower the numbers you buy, the more fillers in
The
that
more
bag.
junk.
Yes.
See, I
So,
I did a live with a couple of guys a couple weeks
mhm,
ago, and the one guy was not aware of that,
mm.
and he wondered why his plots weren't doing that with swell, and
A lot of people don't know that.
you know, and the same with lime.
Yeah.
Um, I was always told growing up that pelletized lime, you only needed 80% of what the test told you,
Mhm.
you know, uh, in pelletized lime. Well, after studying that out and hearing some people that know better than me talk to me about it, lime is lime, and if you need 1,000 pounds of it, you need 1,000 pounds of pelletized lime or 1,000 pounds of ag lime or some kind of lime. It's all the same. You still need 1,000 pounds.
Mhm.
not 80% of it, because they always tell you pelletized limes is stronger than ag lime, and so you only need 80% of that. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, but I've heard it a few times over the years, and I
Yeah.
started believing it until, like I said, I talked to some people that knew better than me, and I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Yep. Well, it also depends on your CCE as well.
Hmm.
If your
Yeah, you're
CCEs are different, then yeah,
well, and that
might.
that could be a whole fiasco too. That guy didn't understand that either. Um, I told him, I said, some bags of lime are sold in 40 ponds, some are sold in 50 ponds.
Yeah.
And then if your calcium carbonate equivalent, as Dave just said, CCE, if you flip the bag over and the analysis reads 80%, you know, you're only getting 80% of that 50 pounds is lime,
Hmm.
you know.
The other
So,
20% is filler.
yep,
Yep. So that's our spiel
correct.
for this podcast.
Yep. 117 that was.
Yes, podcast 117.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you on 118
All right. Catch you later.
later. I should say later, Gator.